Chapter 5 Felt Tales by Firelight. They were gathered together by the campfire when Hare looked across at Hare of Africa and said, "We have come a long way to see you, O my cousin. Pray tell us one of your famous stories, one from the rich unwritten folklore which has been passed down through generation after generation by word of mouth. Show us the wide wisdom of Hare, the wise one, and his skill in the art of survival." And he sat down, pleased with his speech. "You do me great honour, but my tale shall follow that of Brer Rabbit, as he is a visitor to this country, and has many tales to tell us from his great country of America, concerning his relations. Let us first listen to Brer Rabbit." The audience clapped their hands, and Brer Rabbit got up to speak. "The story I'm about to tell you was told to me by an old buck rabbit. He says the story came to him from Uncle Remus, and it bears a strong likeness to Aesop's fable about the fox and the goat. These stories are so old, people have forgotten where they first came from, but it is likely they started at just such a campfire on just such a night in the heart of Africa. Brer Rabbit goes a-fishin'. One fine spring morning, Brer Rabbit was a-goin' a-fishin', a-whistlin' and a-singin' fit to bust. De sky was blue, de fish was a-bitin', and de flies was a-buzzin' in de juniper tree. "Ain't dis de life?" says he. Presently he came to a deep hole by the river, and who should be in the hole but Brer Fox, with de finest salmon fish in his mouth. "Ah me," says he, "I just jumped into dis here hole for to catch me a fine dinner, but seems I can't get on home to the stove and the recipe. Would you be so kind as to drop me a line, and I'll carry de fish to your door?" But old Brer Rabbit, he knows from habit, he's heard that story before. "Well," says Brer Rabbit, "seeing as I'm sure small by comparison, I suggest you fix Mr. Salmon on the line first, and I can heave away then and send the line down for you, Brer Fox," says he. "Why, ain't that the kindest thought?" says Brer Fox, and fixes the fish on the end of Brer Rabbit's line, and he pulls away up, and up goes the fish, plop, over the top, just fine. "Oh, Brer Rabbit, where is you now?" cries Brer Fox, cries he. "Oh, Miss Fox, I's exhausted my strength. I'm going on home to tea. I'll make a good stew and rest up easy before coming back for you." Old Brer Rabbit, he goes on home with the fish on the end of his line, like he hooked it all by himself. "Ain't dis de life?" says he, and he laughs fit to bust. Hare of Africa clapped his hands and laughed. "It is very like my story about the hare and the reed buck, so I shall not begin by telling that one." "Come on, it is your turn to entertain us," cried Crawler. "One of your wise tales that may teach us something of value, O little wise one," said the English hare, patting him on the shoulder for encouragement. "Ah, my friend," said Hare of Africa, "it is the wise one who prevails. It is a question of survival. Here we sit before our cheerful fire, while all about us the night prowls, waiting to pounce upon the unwary. It is to eat or be eaten, grab or be grabbed, and sleep only when you have made certain that it is safe to sleep. Jackal barks, lion roars, and hyena laughs, but tomorrow is an unwritten page. Here in the firelight, safe and warm, I will tell you the tale of the hare, the old man, the otter, the crocodile, and the hippopotamus. Hare was sleeping by the river bank one day when he awoke with a terrible thirst. When he had finished drinking, he looked about him and beheld a great fire spreading very quickly before a strong wind. The grass was all alight, and the smoke blew towards him, so that he jumped up in a panic. Many animals came leaping out of the smoke and sprang into the river, swimming to the other side. Hare saw Otter swimming in the river, and he cried, "Oh, please, dear Otter, help me to cross the river, for I cannot swim, and I will send you my eldest daughter to fetch water for you. I cannot swim, and the smoke is burning my eyes. Aye." But Otter shrugged his shoulders and swam past, his nose in the air, and all the time the fire drew closer. Then came Crocodile from the reed beds, and Hare cried, "Oh, Crocodile, most beautiful of river creatures, let me step onto your back to reach the other bank before the fire reaches me." But Crocodile hissed at him and dived deeper to drown the sound of Hare's pleading, and the fire drew still nearer. Hare could see Hippopotamus feeding by the bank, and he cried, wringing his small hands, "Oh, Hippopotamus, rescue me from the fire, and I will send you my youngest daughter to dance for you. Let me step upon your generous back and ride away from these flames." But she simply went on chewing and wandered away. The hot flames drove Hare down the river bank to the reeds, where he found a small canoe tied up, and he hid among the fishing nets. Presently an old man got into the canoe and paddled to the other side, where the fire could not reach them. Hare, who was much relieved, jumped out and ran away. The following day he came to the old man and said, "Good day to you, old man." "Good day to you, Hare," said the old man. "In Africa we are always very polite," said Hare. Go on," cried Crawler, whose manners were somewhat lacking. "I see you are well, old man," he continued slowly. "Yes, I am well." "And your wives, are they well?" "Yes, they are also very well." "And your youngest daughter, who is to be married soon, is she well?" "She is also very well. She will be back from the river soon with some fresh water." But Hare began to cry and shook his head. "Old man, I'm very sorry for you." "Hare, why are you sorry for me?" "Because I've just seen Hippopotamus kill your youngest daughter." And he shed more tears to show how sorry he was. "What a pig," said Crawler, and had to be silenced by Lion with a paw over his mouth. And the old man was so angry that he set a trap and killed the youngest daughter of Hippopotamus. Hare then went to Hippopotamus and said, "Good day to you, Hippopotamus." "Get on with the story," cried Crawler. "How can I sing for you if we are to spend the whole evening in long and lengthy greetings? Pray continue." "Is he always like this?" asked Hare of Africa of the others. "In Africa we like to spin out a tale, to give it time in which to mature and be recorded by the memory, slowly and surely." The other animals were embarrassed and urged him to continue and ignore the toad. He continued, "Hippopotamus, I am very sorry for you. Yesterday I saw Crocodile kill your youngest daughter," and he cried bitterly on behalf of Hippopotamus. That day Crocodile's youngest daughter was killed by Hippopotamus. Then Hare ran to Crocodile to tell her that Otter had killed her youngest daughter, and Crocodile took Otter's daughter and killed her. So the little wise one ran to the hut of the old man, full of joy, to tell him the good news that he had seen his daughter on the way home to her own village. She had been on a visit to neighbours and had not returned because of the fire. The old man danced for joy and brought out a pot of his best beer for Hare and a basket full of his best corn. Hare, because of the beer and because of the sadness of those unwilling to help him, danced all the way home. "What a despicable fellow," said Crawler. "He was wise and overcame his enemies," argued the African Hare. "He was nothing of the sort. He was cunning and wicked," cried Crawler, pacing up and down. "He should have been taught a lesson himself." "Ah, but it is survival of the fittest, is it not? This is a form of wisdom. Had I not been wiser and more cunning than my rivals, I should not have been here now. By my wisdom, I not only survive myself, but help others to come to me for advice. I live in a world where the odds are against me and my kind," cried Hare of Africa, perplexed. "Where is the harm in protecting myself?" The English Hare sighed. I find with sorrow that the wisdom which I had is greater than the wisdom I have come so far to find. It is not the fault of the little wise one that he sees life through different eyes. It is my fault for not realizing that what I already had was of greater value. I should have had more confidence in myself. Cora is right. We should not confuse cunning with wisdom. Our roots lie within ourselves, not in some strange land our fathers once knew, said Brer Rabbit. May I tell a story now, said Abba, lighting his small pipe. Please do, said Lion, who was looking sad. He did not like to see his friends unhappy. Abba's story. There was once an old man with several wives. He was an elder of the tribe and was thought to be very wise. One day the most beautiful of the young maidens of the tribe was abducted by a boy from the neighboring clan while she was picking berries and singing sweetly as she wandered from bush to bush. Seashells in my hair, seashells wrapped around my arms, seashells round my waist, tell the young man of my charms. Where the purple flower is fair, who will see my beaded hair? The honey guide leads to the bee, who will guide my love to me. We will go to war, cried the young warriors gathered round her basket of forgotten berries. We will kill the culprit, leave his bones to bleach upon the Kalahari sand, for he has shamed us. No bride price has been paid for the girl, they argued, and became very angry, snatching up their weapons and performing mock attacks upon the enemy. Come, old man, we will go now, before the trail grows old and we cannot catch them. But the old man examined his arrows and tested the tip of each against his thumb and shook his head. He said that he had important instructions to leave with each of his wives in case he should be killed in battle, and he promised to return very soon and go with them, for he was a great hunter. When he returned at sunset, having set his affairs in order, he found that the young men had gone to do battle without him. They had been ambushed by the other clan, who were waiting for them, and had all been killed. When the old man returned to his campfire, his wives and children gathered around him and asked how the young men had met their end. It was their impatience that led to their deaths. Impatience is a great murderer of fools. If they had only waited for me, I could have told them that presently the girl would return, carrying the bride price to her parents. No husband wishes to have a wife who feels herself to be slighted and is continually in tears. Wisdom and patience would have won the day, and they would have all been sharing this fine antelope and dancing round this fire.